So today we have Karina Ojeda in Friona, and then Karina, what's the name of your business?
KO Hydration and Wellness.
Okay, with KO Hydration and Wellness, Karina's been with us for about 8 months, almost nine. And the goal today is Karina's going to present on what when she got started. Number one, talking a little bit about the scared nervousness of starting and what kind of helped her get over that hump. Some things you've learned, some things that were struggles, and we're going to kind of walk through that process of when you started to where you are now, which you're doing really well, successful. So we can just kind of get a great understanding of like what it took for you to get going and the things that you're still doing to this day to keep it going and continue to grow. So I'm gonna let you take over. Just start out when you kind of first got the idea, what got you over the hump to start, and we'll just kind of start there and I'll throw some questions along the way.
Okay. So, I've been a nurse going on 9 years now and extensive background in my medical history, anywhere from ER to trauma, oncology, home health. So a lot of different things. I was born and raised in Friona. It's a very small town, population of like 4,000. So it's really hard to start new businesses here. Um, I had moved away to Amarillo, Texas for a few years and then decided to come back home to Friona, and I came back to work at our little hospital here. It's a little community hospital, ran by your local people, so very political. And I just had a lot of struggles there, and I really wanted to grow, and it's really hard to grow in a small community hospital. And my door closed for me there, and there wasn't other options here for myself as a nurse. Now, I had been, playing with the thought of starting my own IV hydration business for years. I had been reaching out to Brandon for like 3 years. I would message him, be like, "Hey, I'm interested," and then I would ghost him.
You know what?
And then
Here,
I'd
I
message
want
him
to I want
again.
to jump in. You know the funny thing though about that is, so I don't delete anything. So when I go back through conversations, like I guarantee I could go back through all these conversations with Karina, and this happens pretty common.
Mhm.
Is nurses are
Yeah.
they get excited about it, they want to do something, and then something holds them back. So just spend a minute, like what would when you would ask me questions and you'd be interested, and then you'd ghost me, like what was going on in your head? What was holding you back?
Was terrified. I was so scared that I couldn't make it work. And I didn't know in depth what Brandon and On Demand Wellness offered. I just thought it was like, hey, here's a business, figure it out on your own. And to me, all the things would go through my head of like, where the heck am I going to get a medical director? Like, how am I going to get medications? Like, how am I going to know what to do? Like, just all those things ran through my head the entire time of like not knowing how to set myself up for success. I thought it was literally just like a, hey, here's a IV hydration wellness business, figure out the rest by yourself. So it was always just that fear of really not knowing what I was getting myself into, what I was going to do with it, and also the fear of leaving a secure income. Like, you can go work at a hospital or a clinic or whatever, and that paycheck is for sure, right? And that was my biggest fear too, financially, was that I couldn't make that decision at that time because you don't ever know when the right time is, right? So I never took that leap. So I would reach out to Brandon, and then I'd be like, no, I can't do it. And that thought would come back again. And then, so it was about 3 years, I want to say, right, Brandon, that I probably reached
Yeah,
out to you.
we were off and on. Yep. So
hmm And then finally in October, like I said, the doors closed with my little community hospital. I closed them for myself, and I had been praying about it. And God was like, girl, here's your door. Like, it's time to walk through it, and you've got to figure it out. So I did.
okay,
And
so
then,
what
go
I want
ahead, go ahead.
a question on that real quick. So that was a 3 year buildup, right? And I'm sure
hmm
during that time you're doing what nurses do. You're researching things, you're getting in
hmm
Facebook groups, you're just going out, and you're just gathering all this data. And I call it
hmm
decision paralysis, right? It's like you know what you want to do, but then you have all these lists of laundry reasons of like why I can't do this at the moment. fear is
Mhm.
typically, what's behind that for most people. Tell me what was the moment where you were like, I'm doing this? Like what clicked or what happened? Usually there's something that happens or you just F it, right? It's time. Like what was it for you?
It was leaving that job at the hospital. I think I was tired of feeling belittled. I was tired of feeling unappreciated. I was tired of killing myself at bedside nursing and for what? For 9 years of giving my all at bedside nursing just to be unappreciated. And I knew I was a good nurse. I knew I had a lot to offer to my community, but I didn't want to keep doing it at a place where my management wasn't allowing me to. So I said, okay, it's time for me to create my own place where I can offer the best to my community and where I don't have someone over me that's like, this is how you do it, this is how you have to do it, and this is the way you will do it. No, I'm gonna have control of that. And that right there was like my switch. Like, okay, it's me. I get control of this.
Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. Okay, so you on board with us, we get you started. Now let's talk about some tactical things. I want you to talk about some things on the business side, right? What are some things that you did that worked out well to help you get more clients to grow? What are some of the things that you tried maybe that didn't work out? So we got you launched, you're to that point, like it's okay, it's time to start. Let's just talk about
Mm.
some of the things that you did when you started from zero, right? You're just now starting to build your business. Like what did you start? Let's talk through that.
Well, one of the main things initially that I did was that I had partnered with Complete Health out of Amarillo. So I offered supplements from the very beginning. I have a brick and mortar location, and so from the very beginning, I have always offered that side of things so that it worked jointly together, my services, my weight loss program, and then I offered products on the side. And because, for example, like my weight loss patients, if I'm going to put them on weight loss, I'm heavy on education, heavy on protein, on taking greens, on taking your electrolytes. So I offer all of those supplements. So, sell them the weight loss products, and I'm like, okay, here's your protein powders, here's your greens. If you take your greens daily, this is going to protect your gut, it's going to help your metabolism. You're taking your serving of electrolytes daily. That's really going to help set you up to, feel good and do good while you're on a GLP. So they worked really, really well hand in hand together. So some days I have slow days with like services, but product sales kind of help keep me afloat. So then I slowly implemented different brands of products after that. A second thing from the get-go, I was huge on social media. I mean, social media played probably the biggest role for me. We have every social media account you can think of: Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have all of it, and we post on all different ones because we target different audiences on each different social media platform. Our main one is Facebook, and then our next one would probably be TikTok. So from the beginning, even before I opened my doors, I was already posting on social media to start grabbing attention. And then from there, it, really took off. So those were the two biggest things that really helped me like really take off. And then in the beginning, my prices, although it was tough, but my prices started significantly lower than a lot of the surrounding areas. So probably closest locations to me that offer similar things is Amarillo, so like Premier IV, but there y'all are like an hour, 20 minutes from me. Lubbock, 2 hours, Clovis, 45 minutes. Although it was further from me and in a sense, I didn't have a lot of competition in the area, I still did because a lot of my clients from Friona were traveling to these locations. So for me, I set my prices from the beginning a little lower to grab their attention, and that's what kind of pulled them my direction. And then from there, eventually, I increased my prices a tad after about the 6-month mark.
Okay, so great information. I want to take a step back and I'm actually going to share my screen if you're cool with it, I have your Facebook page pulled up. So
Yes, that's fine.
one of the things that Karina brought up, it's really important that I want everybody to really understand is like social media and really getting out there. What you're doing is so important. You have to, all of us, at the end of the day, nobody cares about like a lot of us in our mind, we don't want to put stuff out there. We don't want to put content out there. When you have a business, like that's so important to let people know. And I think you said it best, Karina, when you said the word education. Earlier, you talked
Hmm.
about educating your clients, and I think you do a great job of that through your content. I actually hire Karina to do some stuff for me, for my locations, just because she's really good on video. But I can promise you she didn't start that way, right? It took her time to learn, to continue to work on it, and at the end of the day, just getting content out there. So Karina has been in business, like we talked about earlier, less than 9 months. She's already got a pretty good following on here. But as you go through here and you look at her page, you're going to see a variety of things, right? She has even some stuff about workouts. She has stuff about her here. I mean, your content should be you. Like it should not be fake or anything like that. Be authentic. But the goal is that you're putting out content and you're educating your clients. Now, I will say this. I would start with one, two channels tops. Karina is really good at content, and so she's across multiple. I would definitely start with a couple and then grow to that point, or just connect your accounts where they just post on all of them. But Karina's, I know she's a natural when it comes to content. But Karina, what I want you to talk about now, with you posting on content, with as much as you've gotten involved, um, with your different platforms, just talk about how you get your customers only through social media, like how you've gotten customers. Talk about how much you probably have to follow up with some of these people. And let's just talk about the importance of social media to your business.
So one of them would be starting off with Facebook. I promote a lot of sales. Like so as you see right now, you see that B12 post, right? I do the B12 sales a lot because people love discounts. Like they absolutely love it. So, I mean, a vial of B12 cost us what, like $30, I think, $35 our price, right? And I think you get like 60 injections out of that. So, that's where you can make a pretty good profit. Now, for me, go ahead.
I guess so. My only question, we've done kind of like B12 giveaways or things like that at events, but the issue I have is the cost for like the approval order for just one B12 client. I guess how does that work for you? Because it's just never really added up where it's made sense for us to do it. If I have to pay for, however much for the approval, I get that client one time and they're never returning. It's just we're giving out a lot of B12 shot. I think it's a good way to like get, but a lot of those clients don't end up being repeat customers. They just want that B12 shot and then they're good and they're done. And we don't actually make a profit on that. So is there something that you do differently or how does that work for you?
So I always promote it as like if they're new clients, and they're coming in for that B12, I'm like, hey, I know you have to get the new consult. We charge 35 for our consult, and I'm like, but it's good for 6 months. I can treat you for 6 months. I'm like, so then that's where I come in with the encouragement of like, hey, you got 6 months to get my full menu. That includes infusions, that includes other injections, that includes, all of that. So that's where I tell them, like, I know you're getting a B12 today, but come back and see us. If this didn't work for your energy levels, then I have other options. I have NAD, I have glutathione, I have other things that can help where, take advantage of your $35 consult. Don't let it go to waste. I was like, and you have 6 months to do it. So I always do that in the very beginning when, I'm trying to like kind of get them to come back around. Or when they ask me, so how often should I do this? I'll be like, well, if you'd like, I can go ahead and set you on my schedule for an every 2-week return. Go ahead and get them scheduled out to where it sends them that reminder. They're already scheduled. And typically, if they're already on the schedule, they're like, oh crap, I did make that appointment. Well, I better go, because I'm already scheduled. So that's another thing I like to do with clients is try to set them out for like a repeated follow-up to where they're already on my schedule for the every like bi-weekly for the next 3 months or something like that. That's helped a lot.
So I want to
Okay. Again, I guess,
things in here for you, Nate. And
yeah.
I got one thing for you too. It's actually a year now on the approvals. You're good for a year. So, um,
Oh,
yep,
that's great. I didn't know that.
yep. We switched it to a year, so you're good there. Um, so
Okay.
a couple things on this that I'm going to add on to it. Think of this is going to sound funny. Think of B12 in your lower end things as the gateway drug. I mean, you
Mhm.
want to get people in on these smaller offers because you want them to meet you, right? So they need to meet Nate or Nate's staff, and the whole goal is to upsell. And it also depends on the situation, right? I know if you're doing events, Nate, events are hit or miss because it's the type of people you have. If you have a lot of people that are
Mhm.
not local, they are going to be one timers. They're just going to get it for free, and
Yeah.
you're never going to see them again. But the whole goal is to ascend them into a higher tier offer. So it's like they may start with B12, but then you get to know Brandon, and Brandon starts telling you what he's struggling with, this or that. And maybe you ascend me up to 2 injections, or you ascend me up to an IV,
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be. I will tell you one of the biggest things is follow up. So if I came in and just got that injection, following up with some type of a phone call, obviously emails are great. Obviously, text messages are great, but there's nothing like that personal touch, especially when you're trying to grow. So reaching back out, hey, how did you feel after that B12 shot? Would you like to get rescheduled? I know last time, if you can write down notes. So like, hey, I know last time you told me one of the big things you struggle with energy, you do these type of races, whatever, right? The more personalized you are with your message and your product, the more people are going to trust you. Because at the end of the day, right now, it's sell, sell, sell. Everybody just sells. That's all you get on your phone. Like I get so many emails every day from cold email people trying to sell me stuff. Every day
Mhm.
there's a new ad. I mean, it's the same thing. You have to differentiate yourself. The ones that are, I'll give you a good example. So I'm moving. I told you that in the beginning. And I had a guy, I have a big 12 by 16 shed I had to have moved, right? He charged me a range. He's like, hey, I'm going to charge you anywhere from here to here. And I knew it was probably going to be here because I had some obstacles with trees and different things he had to do. So, but I actually paid him above that because his service was so good. And I was so impressed and made it such an easy process. I was like, man, I want to give this guy more. Like, that's the approach you want to take when you're serving your clients, right? They're not just another number. So, bringing it back to that $5 B12. If it's like a $5 B12 or a B12 shot that they get somewhere and they don't remember you or it's not a memorable experience, like the odds of you getting them back is smaller versus you make it more of a memorable experience. You're doing a follow up and change up your offers, right? That's another big thing. Really critique your offers. Go ahead, Nate, because you had another question you were going to ask, I think.
I was just, I think our biggest issue is, I mean, and this is something I've thought about for a long time. We don't charge our patients for their consultation fee. That's kind of one thing because there's a lot of, at least for mobile IV companies, a lot of them charge them the fee. It's good for 6 to 12 months. We just don't. And that's one thing I've had a few clients that have appreciated that about us, that we don't charge them up front for that. But at the same time, I mean, I want to be able to do things like Karina does with the B12 injections, but if I'm having to, foot the approval fee and then I only see them for B12 and then I don't see them again, then we end up losing money on it. So I think that's where it stems from for us. It's just something, I don't know. I've juggled around with what to do with that, but yeah, I mean, I think that might be enough just hearing that to get me to
Yeah.
finally start,
Well,
charging clients for the approvals.
you, so yes, I mean, I would encourage that first, but I want to give you two other things. And I will put something out about this in the group. So this is what we've been doing at our locations because we've had some kickback, right? Some people, oh, why do I have to pay this? I've been coming here for, 3 years or 4 years or whatever. Um, we created a yearly membership that was, and I'm not going to remember these numbers exactly, but I'll get the details and I'll do a video and I'll put it in Skool group. But I want to say we do one, it's like $49 for the year. And we have a couple different tiers. And it's like, hey, for 49 bucks, that's going to include your initial consultation. And that's going to include, I think we give them 1 or 2 injections. Because think about it. Karina just went over how cheap injections are, right? And so, but what it's doing for me, that $49, right? It's covering that money I'm paying for the good faith exam. It's covering the minimal product cost. And I think we do 2 injections. It's guaranteeing me they're probably going to come in a second time. So And we have a couple different tiers too. It's like, well, hey, if you want to do this higher tier, you get an IV plus this. And then the only ones that we included on is first time customers that come buy one of our top IVs. I think our top two IVs. It's like, hey, they're already paying up here. We're going to throw it in. Those are the ones that we throw in. But I'll do another video on that for you, just so you can kind of see this little tier. We've actually had a lot of people that like that because they're getting more value out of it. But at the end of the day, for us, numbers wise, it makes so much sense to do that, and we don't lose money on it. So I'll put that in there.
Mhm.
So, but I would encourage you at the very minimal for all new clients to start charging them that. It's
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
common now to go places and you're paying some type, you're always, right? Medical, you're always paying a
Yeah.
consult fee to get approved for whatever you're doing. I mean, I can't even take my dog to the vet without getting that. So, you know what I mean? It's part of it. So, but okay.
Yeah.
So, Karina, let's hop back on. We are, um, you were talking about the B12s, kind of the ways you're getting people in. We're talking about social media. Anything else on social media that you've really had to, like, what else has worked for you on social media, especially with, I really want to home in on a little bit on the client follow-up because we all know that that's a big part of this is getting back with your clients over and over. So let's kind of go a little bit more there.
Yeah, we definitely have a pretty good system set up for client follow-up. I have a receptionist who is really my backbone. Like, I could not function, we could not function without her. So she's the one that I have set up. I have her trained really, really well on educating from services to products. So I have her either message or call a lot of our clients, especially after we've given a certain infusion injection, um, or if they came in through my clinic and got a weight loss shot and, that day they're like, "I had a little bit of gut issues, a little bit of nausea, but I don't want anything for it today." We educate them and then we follow up with them during the week. "Hey, did the infusion help? Are you feeling any better? How are you doing today? Hey, did your nausea get better?" We really do a lot of the follow-up, and it's phone calls typically. If they don't answer, then we'll send a message, and then typically we can text back and forth. We do have a personal phone, so that we can do actual texting, and because people love that, like the personal communication. And we've gotten a lot of like, "Hey, I really appreciate that you actually reached and checked on me." Like, people appreciate that. They love start having a more personal relationship with us, a little bit more trust. Another thing too is our storefront, our attitudes. Like, I don't know how much compliments we have gotten between myself and my receptionist of mean we are from the phone through them coming through our doors. Clients take that very seriously, like where they've had like, "I went to this other place and I mean, trying to talk to somebody on the phone to get scheduled and they were rude to me, it just turned me away." Or they're like, when we walk in, like we can sit there and have a conversation with patients or clients and be like, "Hey, like, how's your day going? How was your first week of school teaching? Like, or how was your student?" We have full on, very personable conversations with our clients, and they love that. And it brings them back because sometimes they'll come back just to chat with us, but it brings them through our doors. They take a look at our products, and they love just coming around just to chat with us. So that's huge. Being able to communicate outside of it just being a business or just trying to make a sell. You know what I mean? So that's huge for people. They like being heard. It's huge. I don't know how much I can push on that.
Yes.
Um,
Great.
and then yes.
Keep
And
going.
then the last thing going back to social media is my TikTok. I make a lot of videos on TikTok. I don't know how many of y'all are scrollers, but if you scroll, you engage in videos. Like, you love to watch people's lives. It's the weirdest thing. We're weird. We're weird humans. I don't know what it is, but I love funny videos. I love people's like a day in the life. I love the nurses that are like prepping their medications and stuff like that. Like, it grabs my attention. And then we are easily influenced, unfortunately. We are. So you see something that's repetitive, or you see other people posting, "Oh, I went and got an infusion and it made me feel good." And after you see it so many times, it starts like clicking something in your head where like, well, I kind of want to try it too, because it just keeps pulling up on my feed. And well, maybe if I try it, I can feel the same way too, you know? So it's just the goal is to influence, and that's what the whole goal of social media is you're trying to influence your audience to come and try your services. So, TikTok has played a really big role. I have actually gotten a lot of weight loss, a lot of just infusions in general that have come from TikTok, like that have scheduled from TikTok. So that, I mean, it plays a big role. And I'm like, because well, they'll come in and be like, hey, how'd you know about us? Because I have people come in from Olton and other places. They're driving an hour and a half to come see me. I'm like, hey, how'd you find out about us? And they're like, I saw your TikTok and I wanted to come. I'm like, that's amazing. That's the whole goal. So that does play a big role too.
Awesome. Okay, so TikTok, Facebook, those are probably your two main ones on social media. Okay.
Yeah.
The follow-up, so I want everybody to hear this. Okay. She's consistently on social media, TikTok, or Facebook. Her customer service, in which I cannot stress enough on that. That is one of our biggest things at, well, at my locations. We get those, like I get comments. I don't, so I live just outside of Fort Worth, and then one of my locations is 5.5 hours away in Amarillo. I still get messages from people probably at least once a month from a friend that goes in there and they're like, hey, I just want you to know that your staff is phenomenal. Like they were so nice, so outgoing. Those things are so important. Remember, most of the time there's multiple places that they can go and get these services, right? You need to stand out. And the easiest way to do that is the customer service, right? Especially when you're going, I'll use Nate here because Nate is mobile, especially when you're going into people's homes, because that's already a little bit uncomfortable when somebody's coming in your house. So the more that you make it a positive experience and you cater to them, they're going to want to come back. Just think about yourself and the places you've been. Why? Probably the best example here is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is open 6 days a week and they blow everybody in their category out of the water in sales, right? It's because you know what you're going to get. They're really quick. They have phenomenal service. And every time you go there, most of the time you're going to be leaving happy, right? So take that same approach to your business. All right, Karina. So we've talked about social media. We've talked about, your launch to social media to let's talk about where you're at now and then where you're looking to go. So we talked about the products, how you're getting some clients, and then let's talk about now, what are you doing to consistently grow and where's your goal now outside of social media, because we already know social media, and then where's your goal to get to?
Oh man, I have huge goals for myself. I have a lot that's happening. So, when I originally started this in January, I had set myself like a number for how much I wanted to make in sales, not including like loss and everything like that, right? Like in buying materials, medications, everything. I had a goal of I wanted my business to make 150,000 for the year. And we surpassed that at the end of May. I mean, past that number. And so I told myself, okay, I'm going to set a different number and I'm going to expand because I want my community to have more than what I'm offering. So currently, we're in the process of trying to buy the rest of my building because I'm renting a little small location of where I'm at, and now I'm trying to buy the rest of my building. So now the part that I'm trying to incorporate is on the other side of me, add a private practice. So it's not going to be a part of me, but it's going to be an option next to me for people to be able to come through, and that's going to bring more traffic, right? Because the nurse practitioner that's going to be next to me, she's going to be able to now be like, okay, well, I think you're just a little dehydrated, or hey, Karina offers weight loss, you can go to her next door. And it's just, I'm setting that up for something good for my community, but at the same time, it's going to provide traffic for my side of it as well, because we're going to work kind of hand in hand together, right? So that's where I'm working at now, is trying to grow to where I'm offering other things, not necessarily under my business, but that it's going to provide traffic for myself as well.
I love that. And that is really, really smart. So everyone, real quick, if you think about what Karina is doing, she is setting up a referral network for herself because they're not going to be competing. The MP is going to have different services that they're doing. Karina is going to have their services that they're doing. So they're able to have a great working relationship and be like, hey, you can go here for these services, but you can go back to Karina for these services. And that's if y'all, a lot of y'all, if you've been through any of our training, one of the things we talk about is trying to find referral partners. And this is a great example of that. And I'm so excited to see how this is going to work for you because I know it's going to work really well. Getting more people into your network is huge because now clients that trust Karina are going to trust the nurse practitioner that she pushes them to, and vice versa. So this is going to be huge. Quick question, Karina, we had from Amber. You started with a brick and mortar, correct? Or did you do anything mobile initially?
I started brick and mortar from the very beginning. I think I did a few weight loss cells basically from home while my building was being remodeled or my space was being remodeled, just to kind of start getting some like income flowing. But I think that was for literally the month of December. So all the month of December, I started doing weight loss cells because that was something I didn't need a location for. And then the beginning of January, my doors opened to the brick and mortar. So, but I've basically been brick and mortar from the beginning. That was my whole goal, was to have a location from the beginning.
And how big was your room?
I want to say my little space probably averages about 1,000 square feet or so.
Yep. And so here's a so
Yeah.
I want everybody to hear this, and that's a pretty good space to start out with. I mean, pretty good size.
Mhm.
One of my locations, we started in a 10 by 10 room. You don't need a ton of space to start. You just need a room to start. So if any of you either haven't started or you have started and you're wanting to get a space, just having something to start is huge. Ours was a 10 by 10 room. We had enough room for 3 IV chairs in there. Now, we did use like a separate restroom that was like kind of a really nice setup, and we used that for injections. But other than that, everything was done in the room. We'd go in the hall for privacy when we were doing the nurses were doing their initial intakes. And so you can make it work. And just like Karina's done at her space, and I mean, look where she started, and then look where she is now. So, Karina, this is a virtual pat on the back. Like you've been doing awesome. Keep it up.
Thank you.
What I want to do now is let's get some Q&A going. So Karina's done a freaking awesome job of just
Thank you.
telling us where she started, where she got to. We're so proud of her. Now is a chance to pick her brain if you have questions. So anybody who wants to hop on, just pop off of mute, shoot your question out, and we'll get those answered. Nate, I know you got to have another one. I see your mind ticking over there.
I'm trying to think. I feel like, no, I mean, I mean, everything she's done. I think the ideas are great. I think the social media stuff, and obviously I'm by as a guy, the social media, the TikTok, I feel like I see all these med spa TikToks, and it's mostly women, and it's women that have more of that presence for things like that. When I'm watching it, that's usually what I would want to see as, just a client, as a nurse, a female nurse, explaining the service. I think as a guy, it's just more uncomfortable. I'm not a big TikTok I really don't even have TikTok. We do post on Instagram, we do Facebook, we have those links, so everything we post on one or the other gets posted to both. But I know there's a lot more that we could do. My wife's used to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and that's a huge following. We do like events with her friends and things like that. I know I need to take more advantage of that. I think it's more just figuring out how I want to go about. I guess, do you have any ideas for as far as, utilizing that? Like, my wife's always been very open to helping me out with that. She's got a huge Instagram following. All of her friends do too. We've done events here and there. I don't think I capitalize on that enough. I think partly I just don't want to feel like I'm using these girls because they're all great, but it's a huge opportunity, and they have a huge network, and most of their following is Dallas Fort Worth, where we're located. So, any thoughts on what the best way to go would be with, just I don't know, just optimizing social media and getting exposure from that?
You've definitely got to get comfortable in front of the camera, and it's going to take a little bit, but so I know you said you don't have TikTok, right? Or do you have it?
But I don't
You
go
don't
on
go
it.
through it. Okay, so my recommendation would be go look up male nurses content. Like just look up male nurses and you're gonna see how popular male nurses are on social media. Like I mean, you're married and everything, and it has nothing to do like with that or anything, but women and girls like love the nurses. We call them nurses, right? Like this whole thing, it's like crazy. Like they love it. So you being out there in front of a camera, being able to educate someone on wellness and being able to just throw yourself in front of a camera is going to do so well. You have no idea. You just have to have the comfort in it. I think your wife probably, I mean, is she a TikTok person or no?
A little bit. She's also a
A little
nurse
bit.
too. I mean, so
Okay.
she technically
So
work. She's
she's
clinical IV. She did pediatrics, so she's not good. So she doesn't technically work for us, but I
okay.
mean, she's always open to helping with that side of things.
Yeah. And I found in the beginning, I found a lot of my content inspiration from other videos. Like I would watch other videos, I'm like, hey, that's kind of cute, or that's fun, or that's interesting. And I would recreate the video in a sense to be very similar. That's what most people do on social media. So I would recommend kind of going and go and follow several IB wellness businesses on either TikTok or Instagram. A lot of the videos that you make on TikTok, you can like the video will save the way you have your settings in your TikTok will save to your phone, and then you can upload that video then to Facebook, to Instagram, and kind of spread it across all your other social media platforms. But go follow several of IV hydration and wellness businesses to see kind of a little bit of inspiration of what you can be posting and how to post it. And then I would follow some pages that are like, hey, how do I make content? Or then TikTok alone by itself will teach you how to do the videos, how to edit, how to actually speaking of, Brandon had sent me a link a few days ago when I made that video for Brandon. And that video, that YouTube video explained exactly how to do it and how to record yourself, making sure you're using a light in front of you, and then to break up your passages and then kind of bring it all together. Like that video alone, I watched it once and I was like, oh, I got this. I can do it. But, it'll teach you exactly how to do it. Um, it's just the era right now, social media, like that's how you're going to target people for sure. And then you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone. You're the way like the algorithm works is that you're going to target a lot of your area. So you have a huge area to cover. So you have potential to really, really, really engage with a lot of people. To work, I feel like 10 times harder because I live in such a small town that I'm having to target a lot of these towns around me versus you do have a large area. You have an area that, a lot of these people probably aren't going to other IV hydration wellness businesses, or maybe they are, but they're looking for something different, and you have to be the one that makes something different for them. Does that
Yeah.
help at all?
Yeah,
Any
no,
of it?
absolutely. I think it comes down to just being comfortable. I mean, I think kind of
Yeah.
like Brandon, just being uncomfortable. I think you mentioned last week, you don't want to like, I think there's something in it that you don't want to promote yourself and be but that's the reality. And it's a bit, and it's pushing education as opposed to like selling stuff. I think that's huge. I think that's kind of where you differentiate yourself from some sleazy salesman. But, yeah, no, I appreciate it. That's all good advice. And obviously it's working for you. So.
Yeah. Can definitely say a lot of my videos that I have shared specifically on education have been the ones that have really attracted a lot of my clients because a lot of my clients I've had that have switched over from a nurse practitioner, like literally a town over. I've had so many clients switch over from a nurse prac, and the one thing that switched them over was I educated and she didn't. And my videos was what originally caught their attention. So they're like, I came to check it out to see. They came, asked me questions, and then I totally educated in person. And then I provided them with education. I send them like all kinds of breakdown of sheets, emails, and all kinds of stuff after I've educated via video and then in person. And then I send the follow-up education. And like the video is what attracted them. My education in person is what bought them. And then my follow-up education is what kept them coming, continuing to come. So, and reordering and everything like that. So that's been a biggie. There's a lot of providers out there that are just prescribing the shot, like we're sticking with weight loss right now, that are prescribing the shot and that's it. Giving them the boot and just letting them be on their own versus me, I'm hitting really heavy on this is how much protein you need to eat. This is much you need to be exercising. You have to drink this much water. You have to take greens on a daily. You have to increase your fiber. Like I'm really big on that. And hey, if you feel this way, then, you probably need to change this up. Hey, if you're having nausea, you're probably eating bad. And like I'm really honest with them, and people love honesty. They love it. A lot of people are scared of I don't want to do the shot because people are losing their hair and they're losing their muscle mass. Okay, but why? Why are they losing their hair? Why are they losing muscle mass? They're not eating enough protein. They're not eating the way they're supposed to, and they're not working out. But most doctors aren't telling them that. They're just giving them the shot and then sending them their way. But when they came to me, I gave reassurance. And that's what you got to do. And that's the video attracts it. In person, you give it. And then the education follow-up is what keeps them coming back around.
Right. Are you able to advertise and say GLP-1s with TikTok? Because I know with Meta, there's the whole legit script and have to pay for that. I guess I haven't even looked at TikTok very much, but are you able to?
With TikTok, yes, you could put GLP-1. On Facebook, I'm in Facebook jail right now because I put tirzepatide and semaglutide. I didn't know you could do that. You couldn't do that. With
Yeah.
Facebook, you can't. You cannot put the name of the medications because then it's like a whole ordeal. So I would put GLP-1s. I would stick to just GLP-1s or weight loss solutions or just kind of, word it differently. Just don't put the names of the medications because Facebook put me in jail for that.
Yeah.
We had that happen too.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you got to be careful of that. Also, medical weight loss, that one's, you can still use that one. The kind of the old school skinny injections, like anything that's related around the word medical or weight loss, like test it, right? And the other thing is too, you can search ads, right? You can go look at other people, what they're posting. One thing I want to show real fast, as I was listening to Karina go through that. Karina, I'm going to share your profile again.
Mhm. Yeah.
One of the things I really like about how Karina does some of her social media, and I'm going to play it here. She does a great job. You don't always have to be just in front of the screen, like talking and saying everything, even though that's great because that's how people get to know you, right? And they get to connect with you. But I think this is one of those videos where Karina does voiceovers. Is that right? Is this one of those?
Mhm. This one I didn't do a voiceover, but if you click on my information, like if you click the see more on the note, I typed in the bag that I prepared and what's in it and what it helps with. There's some videos where I'll do like this. I record the exact same way, but then I do a voiceover over it where I'm like, "Hey, come prep a bag with me. Hey, I'm prepping the immunity bag. This contains vitamin C. Vitamin C helps with this and zinc helps with this." And like I'll do that where I voice over it. This one has just music, but people love this stuff. Like they love just to watch you do things like this. Like if y'all ever watch the videos of people restocking their kitchen, some people love this. You prepping a bag, like it's the coolest thing. Like they just engage, and that's what again, this is where the influence happens. They watch it over and over again, and then it eventually draws them in to want to do it.
And you know what's funny on this, Nate? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is a great way. You definitely want to be talking and you definitely want to have somewhere you're talking, Nate. But this is a great way to do it where even though it's you in front of the camera, it's not you having to like worry as much about what you're saying. It's you just doing stuff, right? She's doing it. She's showing how she's doing it. But then she's coming back after and you could literally have your script if you want, whatever you want, and you're putting your audio over it. That makes it easier for you because you don't have to think about what I'm saying versus me on the video. It's cool. I'm going to show them how I do a bag, and I'm literally just going to do this, smile at the camera, do this, you know what I mean? And then you come back over and you just talk through, hey, I just want to tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be doing a Myers cocktail, blah, blah, blah. And the reason like this is so powerful, and I guarantee we can all relate to this. Like even right now, I can't help but watch Karina's video over and over because it's really entertaining, number one. There's crazy studies out there, and I cannot remember how high the percentage is of people who watch videos with no sound. This is why subtitles are really important. And you see a lot of videos now that just have the subtitles. I do it. Like I'll be in the middle of something, like having typically it's when I have my downtime not and I don't want to focus on anything. If I'm scrolling or messing on my phone, I won't listen to the audio. Like I've had enough of that all day. I'll just look at it. Oh, I'm kind of interested in that. And I'll read it. And if it's something I'm interested, I'll click into it. If not, right, I'll scroll. But it's a great thing to test. So Nate, that's one thing I would encourage you to do is the voiceovers and play with some different things. You do it. Have your wife do some videos for you because I think it's great. Obviously, females. Why do you think I hired Karina to do some videos for me? Because most of our clientele, a good percentage of them are females, and they relate more to females. Not 100%, but it does help. So having your nurses do videos, your wife, but you as well, because Karina brought up a great point about the MERS thing, right? Go on there and search it. And then don't make it overwhelming. Just like we talked about last week, setting a schedule, time block some time where it's like use ChatGPT and like help get some ideas. Go on social media, find somebody you want to follow, copy them, make it Nate's version of what they're doing. Go on Karina's page, learn what Karina's doing, copy her, but do your version of it, right? That's all you're doing. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's the good thing. But just be Nate is the one thing I do want to say because people want to connect with the real Nate, right? Be you for everything that you're going to put out there. And that'll make it to where it's not hard to do. When you start trying to not be you, that's when it gets harder. But okay. So your goal, Nate, is by the time you're on the next call that you can show us your video that you did. I'm going to remember that. And so,
All right. All right.
okay, let's
Try to compete for any stuff.
yeah. Let's go about 5 more minutes and then I'm going to talk about what's going to be on the next call. Somebody else want to hop in? I'm going to pick on, let's see, Nicole, Elizabeth, Amber, Erica, Brittany. Any questions? Nicole, you got one?
You're on mute, Nicole.
Okay, I was trying to unmute. Sorry.
You're good.
So say you don't live in a community or in a town that's super big on social media. We live in a, I guess like an older aged area. We live on the Treasure Coast in Florida. So our community is going to be more of an elderly population. They call it the town of the newlyweds or the nearly dead. So it's like this, where we have like this gap in the middle. We have a lot of people that travel in. We have an airport here from like the Northeast. So we're a very, like you see our seasons drop off and come. Is there a way that you have found that you can target people who maybe don't get on social media and who aren't on TikTok watching videos? And I mean, of course, like I go to the gym every day, so that's going to be, a big priority to me. I prioritize my health and my nutrition, and so that'll be a big one. But for people who maybe are a little bit older, have you tried anything in that aspect?
Yeah, actually. So there's a few different things that I did in the beginning. One, do you have a chamber, like a
Yeah,
like a
so we
chamber
have
of
like
commerce?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm very involved with my chamber. So I became a member of my chamber from the very beginning. That was the first thing. Because the chamber, for whatever reason, does target that older population. It really does. Second, I'm very, very involved in my community. So I support a lot of things in my community. Like, for example, we're a yearly thing where we do like the high school pageant, and then we call it Miss Friona and Little Miss Friona. I go and I sponsor several of the young girls that are participating in the events. So when they go up there, they say, "Hey, my name's Karina Ojeda. My sponsor is KO Hydration and Wellness. Thank you for your sponsorship." And then they go on. So just little things like that that start getting like my name out there. And then I'm involved with a lot of like in-town activities. So we have a huge cheeseburger festival every summer. I don't make money at the pop-ups. I'm going to just put that out there. I don't make
Yeah.
money at the pop-ups, but I do the pop-up because a lot of those generation people, like the older generation, if it's something that happens all the time, they go, because they go to walk around, they grab their drink, they go shop their little crafts or whatever, but then they get to lay eyes on me, and then they ask me, well, what are you? What is this? What do you offer? What do you do? And then that's when I can kind of catch their attention. Hey, this is what I got. Another thing I did in the beginning, I created menus from the very beginning with all of my services. One side of my menu has all of my infusions, what's in my infusion and what it helps with, and the price. The other side has all of my individual injections, what it helps with, and the price. And then I went around my community to all the businesses, went to our local, what is it called? It's like an assisted living, but not really. So a lot of my older people live there. It's like an apartment complex, but you have to be like 75 or older, I think, or something like that to live there. So I went there personally. Hey, I'm Karina. I'm with KO Hydration. I just opened up on Main Street. This is my menu. These are the things I offer. You know, if you ever need anything. And then once I started doing that, then word of mouth is what finally kind of kept things rolling for me because, you know, Betty, whoever, 78-year-old, you know, came in. She had the flu. It's literally like a perfect story. She had the flu. She came in. She's like, I don't know where else to go. I don't feel good. I have, I'm like, okay, well, let's try this. And I told her what I could do. I gave her an infusion. Not even 3 days later, hey, Betty said she came here and I feel the same way. Can you do the same thing for me? And I'm like, yes, I got you. And then it just started spreading like that. But one of the biggest things is I'm super involved with my community. I do a lot of sponsorship, a lot. Another thing that I like to do a lot is I do a lot of raffles for my community people. So like I've had a raffle for the chief of police when I first opened. I was barely making money, but he was going through some pretty severe medical issues. And I gave free products and like a $50 gift card, and I did a raffle and I said, hey, let's raise some money for our chief of police. Let's try to help him get through this, hump in his life. And I got that really helped because they're like, who is this? Like I was a brand new business then, and I was out there trying to help my community. Same thing. I've done several of those where I've done raffles to help with people. I've done a lot of donations to like athletes. I've done donations to other people like that need it. So that just kind of helps that you're involved and that you care and that sometimes you have to do things without getting anything back in return. But it eventually does come back, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that all makes sense. It pretty much aligns with like all of my thought processes that I had. Like in my mind, again, we're very like plugged in our community. We're really big on Little League. We have 4 kids. My husband's a local financial advisor, so he's got tons of clients that are able to invest. Like it's just a little bit of a different community. Though our nearest big city is Orlando, which is almost 2 hours north of us, and then we've got West Palm, which is a good hour and 45 minutes south of us. So there's this gap in the Treasure Coast in the middle where it's not that younger population.
Yeah, that's about how we are. I mean, pretty small. All the big towns are pretty far from me. I mean, I have a few different. I mean, I do have some young audience that I hit, but then I do service a lot of my older community. You sometimes too targeting that like 30 to 40 range group, and then catching their attention of like, hey, mom and dad, how are they feeling? Have they been tired, fatigued? And that's usually where I've targeted a lot of patients or clients too, where I have clients in the age range, and then they're like, hey, my mom's kind of been feeling like this too. Do you have anything to offer for her? I'm like, absolutely. Bring her in. Let's see what we can try. And sure enough, like I had some people that came in, rolled in a wheelchair from the fatigue and the arthritis is so bad. And then, we did glutathione and B12 and all the things and put them on a, every 2 week schedule. And now 2, 3 months later, grandma's walking in without like no wheelchair, no nothing. She's feeling so much better. She's seeing the results, but it all started with her coming in first. And then I educate a daughter, hey, these are all the things it helps with. It triggers something in their head like, wait, it helps with inflammation. Wait, it helps with fatigue. Is that something that could help my mom? Absolutely, it can. It can. Bring her to me. I can help her. So, but just little things like that. Being super involved in the community has helped me a lot. I've had to sacrifice a lot of opportunities of making money where,
Mhm.
you sacrifice your time and your effort, and that's where it's all going to come back for you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Karina. So, Nicole, what I was saying was, you sounds like you already have a really nice network to start with. And what I would definitely really encourage you to do is think about your approach to just letting them know what you're going to be doing. Now, this can be as simple as you make like a nice, uh, little card that you're going to have your husband tell his clients. You're going to tell, your network. It can be as simple as just telling, hey, just so you know, my wife does this now. I would definitely want to give them something. I know that, some people are just going to throw it away, but if there's somebody that cares about, them, cares about your husband, cares about you, and you're saying, hey, listen, we're so excited. This is what we're launching. I just want to share with you, the things that we're going to be able to help with. Check me out on social media. I'm going to be doing a lot of education, just some type of approach to get it in front of them. Because we know this is all testing, right? Marketing is just another word for testing. So you
Right.
getting in front of people, and your whole goal is just to help them. That's all you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You're not trying to sell them anything at the moment. Just like Karina says, this is you letting them know. And the thing in business is I have to tell everybody that I'm in business, right? I have to tell them that like this is what I'm doing and this is how I can help you. But I'm not just trying to say, I'm going to sell you this, this, and this. And so
Right.
I would really think about that with you start with your network and your husband's network, and you tell them all this is what I'm doing. I'm so excited. If you'd like to support us, this is how you can support us. And then
Mhm.
the goal is, like Karina said, you're trying to get in their outside network, which is the referral network from them. And then it can just start
Right.
growing from there and just take a little extra time initially with your first clients that are in that network. Use them to be your poster clients, right? Ask them for reviews, ask them to tag you on social media. All those things are huge and they compound because now, Nate over here, who wasn't in your network, is friends with Karina, who is in your network and is seeing the stuff that Karina posted. And now Nate wants to talk to you about what you offer because you helped Karina.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. I guess that's my goal is to target like we have like the Buggy Bunch here, which is like this whole group of moms who take their kids to like hang out and like new people that move to the community, like Bible studies are huge here.
Yeah.
Just a lot of these different things where I can just get in and at least like even like Karina is saying, it's not, at least like get in there and show like what you have to offer and who you are. And then like, hey, yeah, will you tag me? Will you post this video on Instagram or TikTok or whatever? And try to like get in that way. So
Yes.
Few
That,
different things as well that I had forgot to mention that we targeted the audience group that you're trying to target. One, they still read the newspaper.
yeah.
So I was posting ads in the newspaper in the beginning. Two, they still watch cable TV and our cable TV, it's they do, but our cable TV has this channel where it posts all the local news. Do y'all have something like that? Where
no,
like
but like I've noticed recently, like if I'm watching like YouTube or doing something, it'll like bring up a local realtor. So I know there's a
okay,
way that they do
there's gotta be
that.
a way. So try to find that where it's posting your local news because they watch that on TV. And then
Mhm.
third, there's this little like gas station that's like a half gas station, half like brunch, like restaurant type thing. All the little important farmers and little old people meet there in the mornings between 6 and 7 to have their coffee every morning and a little bit of breakfast. And then in the beginning, because I work EMS as well, and we do truck checks at 6 a.m. After we would check trucks, we'd go to that place to go sit down and have coffee with them, and then we would talk about it with them then as well.
Yeah,
So we started engaging with them in the morning, while they're having coffee. We would just talk about it, everything we had and what we offered and what we did, and then that helped too, just sitting down and talking with them. You got to go catch them at their coffee spot in the mornings.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, all great ideas. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes. What you got, Brittany?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so something that I hear a lot of, like I hear this over and over, and then as people start talking, so I hear the same question, like, where do you get these people from? You know, I have this obstacle or this obstacle, but then you start talking and you go, well, my husband's a financial advisor. I'm just using you, Nicole, because you just talked. You know, and so you have this built-in network that a lot of you don't think of as built-in networks. So, and I think some of it is fear, and so you're kind of scared to utilize that because you're like, these are his professional contacts. I don't want to flood them with mine. You're not flooding them. You're giving them something that they need. And when you get into your older clientele, I think what you'll find is that they're really frustrated with the healthcare system in general because they don't have people that talk to them. So and it happens. So I'm a nurse practitioner. I work ER, I work urgent care. I'm working on building some other things. And what I find is they're super frustrated. And a great example of this is I had an anxiety attack at 3 a.m. The other day in the ER. I offered her meds. She didn't want it. I prayed with her. She left happier than she's ever left that ER in her whole entire life. And it was all about talking and educating and showing her what else we had to offer. So I think a lot of you have built-in networks that you're too scared or there's some fear there blocking you from utilizing. And you just have to open up and move past that. And I'm right there with y'all. So I'm in the same boat as many of y'all. So I need to like look myself in the mirror and say this too. But I think there's a lot more out there to utilize and you just don't realize it's there.
Yep. Great. Yeah, that was a great word there, Brittany. If y'all don't know
I
Brittany,
just hear it.
go ahead.
I was just saying, I just hear it. Even when everybody's talking in this call, I just hear it over and over. Well, I have this and I have this. Use that, use that and utilize that. And you're just going to it's a fear. You're going to have to overcome that fear and know that you'll have that failure. There's going to be failure. There's going to be people that think this is bullshit. This is just some witchcraft that's trending. It's not trending. This is, in my opinion, this is really the future of healthcare, the functional health thing, root cause, using more biologically, things that mimic our true biologics. And that's what we have to offer people. And a lot of it is they're scared of it too, because they don't have anybody that can really talk to them about it and educate them about it and then utilize it and make them feel better. So what you have is really powerful and you just need to use that.
Right.
Brittany is so right, 100%. And one of the things that I can tell you guys is that you have to accept that some people will never jump on board with you. Some people will never accept it. You will have clients that will come and will never come back. And that's okay. You cannot hold yourself on the negatives because you will change other people's lives. You will have clients that are going to keep coming back. You will have clients that you're going to change their perspective of this, the treatment plans that you have, because I mean, like she's saying, like you have to get past the fear, and you will have judgment. You will have, other people that are like, what are you doing? Like, really, a bag of fluids with vitamins is supposed to make me feel better. I might as well just, like, you're going to have the negatives. And at some point you have to have that switch in your head. That's like, okay, that's cool. It's negative, but this is what I'm doing for everybody else. And if you don't like it, that's okay. It's fine. And most people sometimes will come back to, and some they won't ever come back. But like she was saying, like, you have to be okay with jumping that hoop of fear for sure, and being able to be turned down on some occasions as well.
Right.
Awesome. What a great way to end this call. So if y'all don't know Brittany's one of our nurse practitioners in our program. And she's actually going to be with us presenting next week on a lot of things, GLP-1, some other things on the medical side. So make sure y'all hear next week with Brittany. But great ending. Karina, awesome. Thank you so much for presenting.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Guys, if you have questions, in the school group, right? That's where we want you to go when you have questions. Karina's in there, right? Brittany, if she's not in there, I'm pretty sure she's in there. I'll get her in there if she's not. But also, Nicole, just for you, I did tag you on another video I want you to go watch. It was an interview I did with a couple that does mobile only, and they're actually in Florida. And so it was a good interview I did with them a few weeks back. So I tagged you on it in Skool. So go check that out. Nate, you might have already seen it, but if you haven't, I would go check it out. But
I did. Yeah, it's a lot of good information. I mean, and they are specifically in Florida too. So, I mean, it might be helpful.
There is another thing that I forgot to mention. So when I first opened my business, I had started with Fresh, and I recently made the switch to Gloss Genius. I don't know what system y'all use for y'all scheduling and stuff, but Gloss Genius has been a game changer for me in this past month because it offers the options of Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna for your clients. And people love a payment plan. I'll tell you, they love a payment plan for their weight loss, for those bigger infusions. I mean, it has brought in some crazy income for me with just making that one switch from Fresha to Gloss Genius. So I wanted to make sure I shared that with you guys just so that, you know, it's good. It's a good system to use.
yep, great advice. And I want to say one more thing for you, Amber. So everybody, if you didn't see in the chat, Amber said, I'm still trying to get over the scariness of failure and negativity from the community, especially since we already had several established med spas here in Abilene and surrounding communities. Thank you for everything today. So I want to give you a word of encouragement, Amber. Everyone on this call that's in business, or everyone that's ever done business, there comes a point you have to jump. Right? You have to just go out in faith. And it's really hard to do that because it's uncomfortable. It's not in our comfort zone. And the unknown, which this is a great quote from Alex Hormozy. Typically, fear is a mile wide, but an inch deep, right? To take that step, you have to get outside your comfort zone. And you have to take that step if you want what you're dreaming of. If you want to have a wellness business, if you want to do what Karina's done or Nate's done or any of these other phenomenal nurses, they all stepped out. They got past the fear and they stepped out. There's no guarantee it's going to work, but there is a guarantee it's not going to work if you don't even try. Right. And so I would encourage you, just like Nicole, I'm going to pick on Nicole. Nicole literally started today. Today's her first day. She already hopped on a call. And I can already tell just from meeting Nicole, not just her guns that she's got, but that she's going to do really well. Not just because of the network. I had to call it out, Nicole. I saw you. I was like, dang, I can tell she works out. But she's going to do really well. You can do really well. You have to be willing to put the work in to get where you want to be. Some things are going to work. Some things are not going to work. But if you continue to pursue, you continue to learn, you will be successful. It may take a couple of months. It may take a year, but it will never happen if you don't start. So I encourage you, take the advice of those on here, get in the Skool group, be active in that Skool group. If you have questions, we'd love to help you. Everybody else, thank you for being here. Karina, thank you for being so awesome and to present today. You're going to be seeing a lot of Karina. She's getting involved with us at On Demand and helping us with some different things. So everyone, have a wonderful day. The recording will be put inside the Skool group, and then get active, get involved in there if you have questions, and we will look forward to seeing everybody next week. So everyone have a great week.
Guys.
All right.
Brandon,
Thanks.
can
Thanks,
I
Brandon.
have you for just 1 second?
Yes, hang out, Nicole.
Okay.
Thanks, Nate.